Assalamu alaikum, Adam here. Inshallah, in this video I'm going to give you a quick overview of how this project is going to be, or how it's going to, how it should work. Again, this video is going to be very helpful, especially to the back-end developers as well as the entire team. Maybe they have a suggestion for the addition of a feature or removal of a feature. And again, before we move down into the video, my apologies for the electricity problem. I have not been, giving feedback about this project, and I'm supposed to finish it within a week, but it is trying to exceed more than 2 weeks, so I'm sorry for that. Let's get down to business. I'm here in my code editor. So I'm here in my code editor. Let me just run the project. Before it runs, this project consists of 2 dashboards and a single profile. So here's just the home page for the project. So we have a navigation bar. Here's a search bar. We must have a search bar. And here's the subscription. These are just dead links. And here's the categories we are having. And here is just a place where a user can switch from one language to another. That is, can translate the whole page. We can use the Google Translate API or whatever to activate this. So I'm having difficulties trying to do this stuff over here. So we have something like filter over here. You can filter by premium books and search for that book name and what filter, something like, let's say JavaScript, and hit this the filter button, or something like filter by this by free or by categories. You can just filter by categories and you see how this changes. You want to select the category you want to filter by, or you can filter by dates. And you see we have the dates over here. And so let's see, I want a Python book, one Python book in between the range of I don't know how to say this, but between the range of let's say 2011 to this specific year. I want to filter that book. And again, I'm sorry, I'm just refreshing. I just wrote this over here. So and again, we have this learn more button over here, where if you are a publisher or an author, you can create publishers account and make money again. So here's just the cards where we have books. We have something like the book cover, the title of the book, and the price, rating, as well as your view details. So, and I try as much as possible for this website to be responsive. Here I guess it's what the books based on program categories. Then here the most popular books, then the trending books, maybe the most downloaded books. So I just use dummy cover and the same name. So when you start using maybe the back-end language, it's going to change. And here I don't know what to put, so I just put some social links for the e-library or something like some dummy text over here, and this one. So I don't even have the idea of what to write. So if you have any, so you can just say then useful links. All these are dead links. So we are going to add something. Why? Because they don't have logic. So we don't have to put something. We have something like authors frequently asked questions, librarian himself, blog, and some quick links over here. Contact us, about us, privacy policy, where you can contact us. You can subscribe to our newsletter where you can be sending some stuff weekly. How to put your email. And as you all know, we are going to convert this project to a mobile app, iPhone or Android application. I don't know what framework we are going to use, but the images where if user click on this link, it's going to take him to Google Play or App Store to download our application. So I try to make this website very responsive. Since I use Bootstrap for it must be responsive. So as you can see, it is responsive. User can go and scroll down. So this is just the home page. Let's just move on to the next thing. So when the search button, when the user hit this search button, how it should look like is I create something like the search results. So it should look like this. You see, let's say he searched for Learn Python. So it should return something like 30 results for Learn Python. Learn Python for beginners. And here this book get suggested to the user. And here is the name of the author, the published dates, as well as the price. So and when he touches this, it should take him to another place. But I'm going to explain that the other time. And here we have some pagination. If you want to move from, as you can see, I set 30 results over here, so you can move to the next page. I paginated, and here are some related books to the related search. The footer is almost the same, so it is just the same actually. So let's see, when you hit this link, it should take you where you can see the book details. So I have something like review details. So let's say you hit this, oops, it should be this. Let's say you hit this view details, or you hit this link, or this, this image. It should take you to this place. I want that specific book that you want to buy or read. So you see the title again here, the price, the rating, and the number of people that rated that book. If you want to buy now, you can hit that button, or add to cart, to your cart. That's if you have an account with us. So here is the published date, the number of pages for that book, the language which the book is written in, and here is the description. I'm sorry I didn't add cost outline or the cost study for the book. And here we have something like comments. So people can comment on your book. Maybe it's going to encourage others to buy their book or not. And you see they can even make replies. So, and again, people can even view the author's profile. So I'm not going to talk about this one again. And they can even search for the other books that specific author have created. And we can even verify to us. You can even verify an author by using his credentials. His CV to give him this music. But when we didn't, when we did not verify an author, that doesn't mean people or students shouldn't use his resources or materials. And here it is his role. Here it is his role, developer, and he joined March 19, 2019. So this is just for some, for example purposes. And here we have the subscription. As you can see, we have everything here. We have the subscription here. So you can make subscription. So I make this subscription, cards for the basic, $20 per month, for the pro, for the premium, and you must have an account to, to have this. So I guess that's all for this one. If you create an account for the basic, or if you subscribe to the basic, you have access to 30 ebooks, download books offline, quick replying, Q&A section. So like for the pro, as you can see, this is the recommended one. And if you can go for pro, you can go. Oh, if you can go for premium, you can go for that one. Actually, so I guess that was all for this one. Let me just check for other links and see. So I guess that was all for for this one. Now let's move on to this one. Let me just hit this start your free trial. So when you hit this link, it's going to take you to this place where you can create an account and start your free trial. Maybe you are going to make it 7 days free trial, so they can provide their email, their password, and confirm password and sign up. The reason why I didn't ask much in the in the sign up form, some people might get discouraged and will not create account with us. Something like, let's say, asking for their age, phone number, gender, etc. And even some description about them, so they are going to get annoyed and they are not going to create account with us. But asking them not much, that's just email and password. I guess that's all. And they can just hit the sign up button and register with us. Or they can use create account Google or Facebook. All we want from them is a unique something, maybe a unique email address or a unique phone number. That's all. So, and again, when they hit this button is where they can go and sign in. So it's the same thing. When you are in the sign up, you can hit this button. It's almost the same thing. So you can sign in here. Okay, you see, you come back, you can put your email address and password. Well, let's say you forgot your password. Let's say you forgot your password. So you can just hit this forgot password and not reset your password using your email. Or if you don't have an account, you can just still go back to your sign in or sign up. So let's move on to that specific user profile. That's the student profile. I'm not moving to to the librarian dashboard or to the the auto dashboard now. Let's just focus on the user. Later we are moving to that. So now let's move on to the user profile. So let me just say something like let me just duplicate profile. So as we can see, I make something to take the user for a talk to see how our website works. Something like this place. You see, welcome. Let's take a talk. Let's walk you through how our website works. See, here's your profile info. Toggle the switch for dark mode. So we have dark or night mode. I don't know. So you can click next for the menu. You see, they say hit this navigation bar to see how it works. So that's how this is just something different. You don't have to care about it. Right? This thing works only once when you create your account. You see, there's nothing like that when the user logs in again. So we have something like, let's say the user haven't verified his email. We have something like this alerts. Let's say here's the recent or recommended book for that specific user. So you can see the current page using. He can continue reading or download offline. But if a user is using free trial or something like that, they can't download books offline. And here is what the reviews, where they cannot make reviews. I guess that's all for this one. They can even close this if they don't want it. And here are the ebooks. The books that he bought, whether they are free or not. So you see, something like bought 27 days ago, he can read the book or view details of the book. So maybe when he hit on that view details, it should take that person to this view details. as I showed before. This is the same view details. We can download offline. So as you can see, if our user is using free trial, so he can't download our books offline. And again, this person is using Pro account. Let's say he's not using Pro account, so this button should show up and asks the user to upgrade to Pro for many features. And here's night mode, as you can see. And again, even if I close this page and come back, that night mode is going to be there actually. Here's for logout, and here's for notification, and here what you have in your cart. So let me just go to that cart. So as you can see here, just made a mistake making two tools. Though, yeah, making 2 items in the cart. Though this doesn't have logic, just for demonstration purposes. You can clear your cart over here and see the total items you have in your cart. From continue shipping or continue to checkout. So now let me just close this and go to what? And go to this checkout. If the user hits on this continue shipping, it should take the user to to the home page where we have some books, some of the recommended books for that specific user. So let me just check my checkout. somehow. So here's the checkout. Let's say what the user have in his cart is 2, and he wanna buy these 2 items. You see, total items in carts 2, total price. So you can just hit continue to checkout again. So you can just make his payment here. Whether he is going to be using credit card, debit card, or PayPal. So for PayPal is going to be different. We're not going to be using this one, but especially something like credit card. So he should type in his name on card, credit card number, expiring, the month that is going to expire, the card, that's the card, the expiry, the day that the card is going to expire, and the CVV, that's at the bottom of the ATM. And you can just hit this pay button. I guess that's all for the cards. Oh yeah, for the checkout, I'm sorry. Now let's move on to the subscription. So now let's say you have a subscription, so you can just show something like subscription type plan. He has monthly subscription. He spends $60. You have access to 30 ebooks, 5 books a minute, whatever. So if you want to renew his subscription, he can renew what he can view other subscriptions and what to subscribe, something like premium or whatever. I've showed this before. So now let's say bookmarks. I'm not going to create this bookmark for now. Why? Because we don't have the discussion stop on the website for now. Let's finish with the basic. This bookmark will now have has its own work, and here we have the notification. So the user can clear notification and he can see how many unopened notifications he has. They actually, I don't know, just of this book, the Python workshop. So if the person bought a book and the book is updated, so you can see the notification to go and read that book or whatever. And again, here's the settings. So now, as I've said, while trying to create an account, we are not going to be asking much about that, so that they shouldn't get discouraged and go out of our software. So I have something like this for them, to update their data. There's something like their first name, last name, email address, phone number, age, and gender, so they can save or discard. And here they can upload their profile picture. And here for security reasons, they can verify their email address, put their emails and verify it, or something like change their password. I guess that's all. Yeah, change the password. And here for the e-library, they can send notification to my email. Let's say you have a notification over here, so you can toggle the switch to receive notification your email. Or take tour again. Let's say you don't know how the website works again, or you are not able to watch that tour for the first time, so you can just hit this button and it's going to take you for the tour again. So I guess that's all for for the student accounts. Now let's move on to the librarian account. So for the librarian, when you hit on this learn more, let me just open it here. So auto account sign up. So they can account, the auto account, they can create the account over here. They should give us their role. Let's say he's a lecturer or something like he's a poet, or or he's a developer. He should give us his password and whatever. And when they want to sign in, they can have the auto sign over here. And we are going to be using 2 things to uniquely identify an author. They can use their email address or their auto ID. So now let's move on to the auto dashboard. Oops. Alright, here's the auto dashboard. So for the home, I don't have anything for the auto, but on the book, let's say all the books that the auto publish, as we can see, here's the international standard book number for that book, the book name, the student he have for that book, that's the number of the student that bought that specific book, the price for that book, and if you can edit or delete that book. So for edit, that's updates, and for delete, to remove the book. So if the author wanna add a book, he can upload the cover for that book, international standard book number, the publisher name, maybe his name, the publishing company, the book title, the book category, so that we can specify where the book belongs to, the book type whether it is free or paid. Then let's say it is paid. Check it out. Here is what? Here is disabled. He can't, put the price, but if it is paid, you can use it. You can upload, the PDF. I guess I don't have any PDF over here. So I don't know, he's going to upload PDF or whatever for that, and the publishing date and the book description as well. So they update a book. Here to update a book, we are having the book data over here. You can change the profile picture, or you can roll back if you don't want something like the publisher type of book. As you can see, it's for technology. As you can see, it is not free, it is paid. As you can see the price over here. If you want to change it, if you want to edit or update the book to free, so as you can see, the book price shouldn't be, yeah, it should just be free. The input should be disabled. He can as well edit the publish date, and you can edit the description, and you can just hit the update book button and delete book. So the delete book is just simple as it should be. Delete book. Are you sure I want to delete the book? The Python workshop for beginners. You hit the yes button, so it's going to be deleted from the database automatically. So I guess that was all for this one. Now let's move on to the income. So let's say the income that specific author or publisher is having. So average income per week is having $800. The total income he has is $25K, and here's the list of books he is having, and the total income he has for each book. Total income $5.7K, 4.4K. That was what. Then here are the student he is high. Yeah, here are the student he has. So you see the number of the student, the books that specific student books. Let's say 3. He spent $19.22 for all 3 books, and he can view that specific student profile. That's all for this one. Then notification. So as you can see, something like Ibrahim Solomon just commented in the Q&A section of your book, the Python workshop for beginners. So you can just go over there and reply to that specific person. You just saw this 20K students your book. Simple. Yeah, congratulations, your book has been approved 3 weeks ago. Or whatever. You can clear notification and settings. So they're almost the same, but as you can see, this auto ID is disabled, so there's no way auto can change his ID. We are the ones that are going to create that specific auto ID. As you can see, it starts with AUSE/DAV. That means using the acronym, using this dev. So if it's a lecturer, we can use something like LEC or whatever. And here is that person joined. So we can add additional stuff, or you can give your idea. And as you can see, for verification, they can upload their CV. I have to get this blue tick, and for security reasons they can as well verify their email or password, so I don't have to show this. It's almost the same thing with that of the user. They can log out over here. Now let's move on to the final one, which is going to be the librarian dashboard. So it should be this, yeah, it should be this one. So let me just close this. Yeah, this is the librarian dashboard. Here's just the home button. So we have some cards over here. I use the HiCat.js to create this. So maybe the backend developer is going to be using asynchronous JavaScript, to fetch data from the database, maybe in whatever format, and paste it over here. I guess it will be very simple for the librarian to, visualize that data. The total number of users we are having over here, the income we have, authors, and the books we have, and you can, search the dashboard as well. So as you can see, here's the, auto profile logged in as Adam Suleiman. Here's our logo. Yeah, here's our logo. You don't have mails. And we have 3 notifications. Here's the logout button, and as well can close this. Now let's move on to the books. It is almost the same thing with that of the the author or publisher account, but they have a little bit difference. So like we have something like this book name, Learn Python. The publisher is Adam Suleiman 12.99. You can edit and add whatever. We have something like add books. So they are almost the same thing. We don't have to I don't have to show everything. So we have something like the update book, hit the button. Are you sure you want to update this book? So later you come and they are in problems. They are almost the same thing with the delete book. Now let's move on to the users. These are the number of users we are having. So like we have some cards to show some stuff. We have to tell users of 189,000. New users this week 1,500. Premium accounts, free accounts. This is just showing 25 entries. Let's say you want to show 500 users, so you can just show 500 users. Though I'm using pagination for that. And here's just a search bar. If you want to search for a user in the database, and as we can see, Aisha Suleiman, here is her email, account type is premium, gender female, and you can view her profile. As you can see, here is her profile. I guess that's all for this one. And now let's move on to the authors. So it's almost the same thing, I guess. Yeah. So when someone hit this view profile, let me just go back to that view details. But when they hit this button, view auto profile, it should take them to this place. Yeah. So it should take that specific person to this place. So that means it is the auto profile. They can contact that author. They can see his older books. Here's just the overview. So that's it. Now let's move on to income. So here's the income. When we publish a book and we give a fixed price, let's say $12, so we are just going to, we're getting that $12. Well, let's say an author publish a book and give it $12. We are going to be charging them. They don't have to, be uploading books like that. So let's say they uploaded a book with a range of, $0 to $10. So we are going to put what we are going to be charging them. Let's say something like, $2.5. So we can just click on save, and it's going to be automatically saved to this table. So as you can see, $0 to $10 is going to be 0.95 charges with a specific book if a single person bought that book. So that's how it goes. $21 to $50 is going to be $2.0 for each student. We are going to be charging that specific author. Right? Now let's move on to the cards. This should be the same to what I showed, but I'm going to add more stuff. That's for the analytics. Then for the Google Analytics, so we are going to be seeing website visit, total number of user visits. So we are going to be using Google API for this one. So I guess this is for the backend developer. It's for the backend developer. Now let's move on to message. In this contact us section, I was not able to create this form, but let's say when someone tried to contact us, so we are going to see that message over here. You see something like the username, the person's name, the header for the for the complaint about currency. As you can see, this description. The time he sent that he's complaining, and you can just show for, and you can see his email over here. I can reply him via your email. If I hit this reply button, it's going to take me to email, and if that email is my is the eLibrary email account, so we are going to automatically reply to that specific person, or you can just close it. And again, we have mails. We can just be getting mails directly from our inbox. Messages that mails directly from our email account inbox, so we can just reply it again. So if someone tries to send us email directly, and here is the notification, so I don't think I have to explain anything over here. Now let's move on to the settings. So here's just the accounting. I don't even have the idea of what to put over here. Since the user account and the email is going to be fixed in the database, we don't have to try a login form, or we don't have to create a login form, something like login form or create account form. And for security reasons, we should be changing our password maybe monthly or weekly. That's why I create this. So as you can see, and even here we have got the dark mode. If you can use the light mode. So I guess that's all for the project. Let me check. Maybe I might forgot something. So let me just check this place and see. So I don't think I forgot something. Yeah, I don't think I forgot something. So that's all for the project. I know I'm going to have a problem. So please, you should give us suggestions. And yeah, you should just give us suggestions. I'm going to push it to GitHub, and I have already have the link for Mediafire. If you don't want to use GitHub, you can just download the zipper. It is just 2 MB, and you can just use it and start your. Bye.